점수 잡는 hackers.
My name is Anne, and today we're going to go over Liam Lieberman's Why Universal Higher Education is Not a Desirable Goal. We're going to actually read the passage together, so if you haven't already, make sure that you read the passage on your own. And when you actually read the passage, read it paragraph by paragraph, and in each paragraph, try to find his main point and also trying to find the rhetorical technique that he's trying to use. Once you read it on your own, come back to this lecture and let's actually do that together. So we're going to go over today's goal, and first we're going to, as I said before, read the passage together. We're going to look over the passage paragraph by paragraph and look for its main points. And along with the main points, we're also going to look for the 3 techniques that he uses. The first technique is logical reasoning, and specifically we're going to look for counter-arguments. When you look for counter-arguments, make sure that you look for the opposing view. Now this opposing view would be the opposite of what Liam Lieberman actually thinks. And of course, he's going to talk about the opposing view to actually strengthen his view. So make sure that you also look for his view after the opposing view. Second, we're going to look for authoritative evidence. Specifically, he's going to use a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers. Statistics, you would have to look for numbers. You would look for percentages. You would even look for monetary figures like dollar signs. So any type of number would be a type of statistics. Lastly, we're going to go over stylistic elements. In particular, we're going to look for colloquial tone. As I mentioned before in the introduction, colloquial tone could also be called conversational or informal tone. And we're also going to look for a personal anecdote, not this anecdote. I didn't mention it in the introduction, but it's a short story. This short story can be a short story about someone else, but in this passage, it's a personal short story, so you're going to have to look for I, because Liam Lieberman is going to refer to himself as I. And then at the end, we're going to do a review of the reading and analysis. So let's go right into the prompt. Now this prompt, or in other words, the instructions, this is going to be given at the end of the text. So make sure that you just look for keywords and the main point. We're not going to go over everything because we went over it in the introduction. So let's just go over what you need. Now, I highlighted the important parts. First, you need to look for his full name. His full name is Liam Lieberman. And after you refer to Liam Lieberman in your introduction, you can refer to him by his last name. His last name being Lieberman, Lieberman, and Lieberman. So even in the instructions, you have the full name and then the last name. So you would do so the same in your essay. Next, if you're not sure, Liam Lieberman, is this a male or is this a female? Then you would look right here and it says his. So obviously you would refer to him in your body paragraph as he or him. Now, his or he is going to show up multiple times. It's going to also show up again here. So make sure that you understand if it's a female or male. And lastly, this is going to be your main point that you're going to get. This main point, you should read this before you read the actual passage because it's going to give you a hint as to what the main point is. And you're going to actually find these main points in the passage. So let's actually look at the main point. Pursuit of higher education, or as it said in the title, universal higher education, is not a necessity for everyone in America. Basically, Liam Lieberman wants to tell us that not every student in America has to go to college. Not everyone has to pursue higher education. Now, this main point here, we're going to use this multiple times, as I said before, so you're going to have to understand how to paraphrase. So if we go on, this is the claim that was given in that box. I copied it word for word, but when you write it in your essay, you don't want to copy it word for word. So let's actually look at how we can paraphrase this sentence. Instead of writing higher education, you can refer to it as college, because college is higher education. College is not a necessity. Now, in the claim, it says necessity, so we just used is not a necessity for everybody. Instead of writing everyone, we use the word everybody. So the first sentence, college is not a necessity for everybody. Let's look at the second sentence. It is unnecessary. So if it's not a necessity, you can say that it's not necessary or it's unnecessary for all Americans. Instead of writing everyone in America, you can change it to all Americans. Or if you want to make it singular, it's not necessary for every American to pursue higher education. Now, they use higher education here, they use higher education here. You can also change this to, as I said before, college, to pursue university. Or you can either switch it totally around and you can write he being Liam Lieberman, is in favor of a different approach to higher education in college. All right, then we're going to go straight into the analysis. We're going to read each paragraph together, and then we're going to look over the main points, and we're going to actually go over the techniques that the author uses. So let's look at paragraph 1. Increasingly, the media, politicians, interest groups, and educational institutions and professionals are promoting universal access to higher education. Now, this was in the title, Universal Higher Education. So that's today's main point. Today's topic is on universal higher education. Put simply, their stated goal is for all high school students in America to have the opportunity to attend college or enter a university. Now, also in that main point, it said everyone or everybody in America. And this is actually paraphrased, all high school students in America. So this term, universal higher education, that was given in the title, and this explanation, all high school students in America, now that was actually given as the main point. So these are going to be common phrases that are going to appear in today's passage. So note that in paragraph 1, the author being Liam Lieberman wants to talk about universal access to higher education and how it's going to provide opportunities for all high school students to matriculate into colleges. Matriculate into is a more sophisticated word for enter colleges. Now, you don't write enter into colleges. You would just write enter colleges.